Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting production of Caribbean Championship Wrestling, ENG Productions, and we're delighted that you are with us. My name is Hugo Savinovich, and next to me, it's the man himself, Eddie Grice, and I'm really surprised that you're here with me on tonight's great program.
Well, Hugo Savinovich, I don't really want to be here, but I had a tough time trying to find somebody to do any commentary with you tonight. And it was really, really tough trying to find somebody at all to talk about Abdullah the Butcher, because they're afraid of him. They're all afraid of him, and I don't understand why. I mean, they are grown men, but from what I hear, they're afraid of retribution or vengeance. The man might hit them when they don't know it, you know, or walking down the street, getting into a car. However, I found one man brave enough to come out here and commentate with you tonight.
With us right now?
With us right now. And here he comes, Mr. X.
Mr. X?
Okay. Mr. X. We have to call Mr. X because the only way that he would come out here is that we hide his identity. That's the only way. So I'm going to leave Mr. X with you.
Where would you be going?
I'm going down to Carolina because there's matches tonight, and I'm going to find some more men that will give me interviews and talk about Abdullah the Butcher so maybe we can get rid of this menace.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chief. Okay. Mr. X, okay, let's find a little bit about Mr. X. Are you a professional wrestler?
No comment.
Are you a wrestling manager?
Hugo, it makes absolutely no difference what I do. You know, I'm out here under a mask. I'm very nervous about it, but the only reason I'd agree to do this is because I don't want any retribution from Abdullah the Butcher. The man's sadistic, and once the people get finished watching this program, they're going to understand exactly why I came out here in the hood. But I think the first thing we're going to take a look at is some of the things that this maniac does outside the ring, not pertaining to wrestling.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
Hugo, now here's a man sitting here with his manager, Chicky Star, eating raw liver. Now, it doesn't take an IQ with the intelligence to split an atom to figure out that Abdullah the Butcher is not playing with a full deck. He's obviously sadistic, he's crazy, he's insane. Any other adjective you want to use to describe that the man's crazy, you can use here. Here he is snatching a fly out of the air, smacking it a couple times, disoriented, and now look what he's getting ready to do. He's going to stick an insect in his mouth, and there he goes right there doing that, and he's eating it. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the people should know that you are the one that's responsible for bringing this man to Caribbean Championship Wrestling.
Wait a minute, Mr. X. I don't think, I don't want to talk about this. I mean, hey, it's a long, long time ago. I don't think we should talk about this.
Well, I realize that too, Hugo, but I want to bring the fact out right now that these people out here, there's a tape that exists that I know you thought was destroyed, but I've got evidence right here that you were the one that brought the man into Caribbean Wrestling, and we're going to see it right now.
But wait a minute, one second. Now, what is this here? This has nothing to do with Abdullah. I think this is invading my private life, kind of.
Well, Hugo, like I said, you probably thought that these tapes didn't exist anymore, but here it is in living color for all the people watching this tape.
This is a long time ago.
Well, yeah, I realize this is a long time ago, but, you know, you got to give the people the history behind what's going on here. And I know for a fact this was 6 years ago, and maybe your memory is not far enough in that past to be able to remember what was going on here. But one question I've got for you is, what's that stuff on your face?
Well, that's used to be part of my personality. I've always been modern, and I was managing at the time. That was some shiny glitter. I feel fortunate that I had the best wrestlers, and I wanted to make him feel proud of me. But I don't think at this stage in my life I want to see this.
Well, look at this. Here's Abdullah the Butcher eating a piece of paper. Again, I reiterate, or I say again, this guy is not playing with the full deck. It's obvious he's a maniac, he's sadistic, he has no compassion for human existence whatsoever, and yet you're the one that introduced him into the Caribbean area.
Wait a minute. He is and he was a tremendous, great wrestler. I was just lucky enough that he chose me to be his manager. Why should you blame me for this?
Well, I mean, look what... I don't think you can say that. How can you say that? I guarantee you people out there, by the time you finish watching what this man has done inside and outside the ring, you're going to understand that what Hugo's saying right now is totally ridiculous. This guy is sadistic. I mean, like I told you, you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to look at him for long. Look at that far away look in his eye. Obviously, not everybody's home there.
Well, let me tell you something. I've always done a good job for Eddie Grice, for the whole production, but I don't think this is right. This is really invading my privacy. I don't want to look at things that have nothing to do with my life present. I don't want to get into this. This is something very negative for me.
Well, do you think it's easy for me to come out here? I had to come out here with a mask and try and hide my identity. You think it's easy for me to come out here and say what has to be said, what should be said about this man without the fear of maybe...
Well, what about me? What about me? He's seen me in this tape. What about if he thinks that I'm the one that's putting this together?
You know, Hugo, it's obvious to me, and I know it's obvious to people out there, regardless of what you say. You brought Abdullah the Butcher on the interview right here, so obviously you're the one leading him. So don't go.
I don't deny that I was his manager. What I'm trying to say is I don't think at this point in my life, I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but I mean, do I need to see this again? Why should I be put through this? Why if this man hurts me? Now, who's going to be responsible if he takes some action about this? Well, I don't have a mask.
Well, I'll tell you, if he hurts you, then maybe you'll get an idea of all the friends that I've had, some personal friends that's been injured by this man, and all the other wrestlers that have been put out of wrestling by this man. Maybe you'll feel just exactly what those guys felt because they're no longer wrestling. And don't you have a little hard feeling dealing with yourself, knowing that you caused all that pain and suffering by bringing this man in?
Well, I don't know. I just don't think this is right, and a professional wrestler is always in danger when he goes inside the ring, and I don't think I should be blamed for this.
Well, let's just go to the first match right now.
Well, now we're taking a look at one of the great battles between Carlos Colón and Abdullah. The only thing wrong here is we're going back to the fact that this is about 1984, and I was still his manager.
That's right, Hugo. It was 1984, but by that time, you'd already led him for about 2 years, and he'd injured a heck of a lot of people, and now he's going against a great Carlos Colón, who will probably put him in his place. But still, how can you handle a madman like this, and don't you feel a little responsible for this?
Like I said, I was just managing Abdullah. I did not go into the ring, and Abdullah the Butcher, his reputation and his style, it's hurting people. I have never claimed that he didn't do bad things, but it's a rough sport, and he's one of the kings of professional wrestling.
Yeah, but an individual that has a craziness about him like this guy obviously doesn't have a full capacity for the brain to work, so he has to have some kind of guidance to help him along his way. And at this time, you're the manager. Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure out 2 and 2 makes 4.
Look at the bloody battle. Blood on Carlos Colón. A lot of things you also have to mention here is the feud between Colón and Abdullah did not only extend to Puerto Rico now. They hated each other for a long time.
Well, you know, Hugo, that's possibly true, but, you know, when you fight a man like Abdullah, and you go in the ring, and you know what he's all about, he's not all there, he's crazy, it kind of drives you to the brink of craziness, too.
Well, at that time also, you got to say that some of the people that hated Abdullah, they used to hate me and do damage to me. Here is the commissioner. At the time, Tom Renesto was the commissioner for the Caribbean World Wrestling Council. It's not just Abdullah now hurting the commissioner, it's also Carlos Colón. So they're both animals.
Well, you know, no, look, just like I said, it brings out the animal in you when you're dealing with an animal. Here's the commissioner out there trying to break him up, and there's no regard at all for human safety as far as Abdullah the Butcher is concerned. Look at him right there. He's handling him like he's just a nobody. This is the commissioner you're talking about. Now, there should have been some serious fines or something done about it.
You did see Carlos pushing the commissioner. Look at him. He's the one pushing. Now, if you blame me for bringing him, why can't you blame the hate on the competition of Carlos towards Abdullah and vice versa here?
Well, in your case, I can see where you would look at it that way because you're his leader at that time, and even though it's in the past, you're not going to put on the monkey on your back, so you're going to get out of it any way you can. The fact of the matter is, he was provoked. Carlos Colón was provoked by Abdullah the Butcher's craziness, and that just provokes both men, and that's the bottom line. Abdullah the Butcher is responsible. Something's got to be done.
So it's Carlos. Carlos is also responsible. As you see, we have some problems with the tape at the time. I don't think people were very interested in making sure that this will still be around. I'll tell you the truth, I don't want this to be around myself.
Well, you know, Hugo, I've got another piece of video that you probably thought didn't exist anymore that I want to show the people right now.